Good evening, Stevens Point. I'm Nathan Wegner.
And I'm Claudia, Neve.
This week on SPTV News, there was a mass shooting at a Florida high school, the blood drive is back, and DCA is creating new programs.
All of this and more when we return.
This past Wednesday, 17 students were tragically killed and at least 15 were injured at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, when former student Nicholas Cruz entered the building with an AR-15 and opened fire. The 19-year-old was later apprehended by authorities. This marks the 8th school shooting in 2018, along with an additional 10 different accounts of gun-related accidents or attempted suicides by a firearm on school grounds this year alone. This week's shooting is also the third deadliest school shooting in U.S. history. Our hearts go out to the victims and their families.
The first blood drive of the semester is coming up. Case and the Blood Center, Wisconsin are looking for donors and volunteers to help run the event. Donors are greatly needed and students can schedule appointments or stop by whenever they have time. The donation process takes about an hour. The drive will be held in the Laird Room on February 26th through 27th from 12 o'clock to 5 o'clock p.m. and on the 28th from 10 o'clock to 3 o'clock p.m. To make an appointment or sign up to volunteer, visit the spin page.
The International Club is presenting their annual dinner this semester and is looking for volunteers to carry flags during their Flag of Nations ceremony. This ceremony is before the dinner, where students or community members carry flags and represent their nations during their stay here. There is a sign-up sheet to carry a flag at the International Club's office located in the DUC basement.
The severe cold has not only caused icy roads, but can also affect our health. The flu season is here as we get into the midwinter season. The flu, influenza, typically involves rapid onset of fever and cough. It is an illness that causes respiratory symptoms. The flu vaccine is still the most effective way to prevent severe illness and is still available for students for free at UWSP Student Health Service. The health service also provides tips to prevent catching the flu. They advise us to wash your hands often, avoid close contact with people who are sick, and to stay home if you are sick to keep the flu from spreading. For more information, contact the Student Health Services.
DCA is creating 3 new programs: Men of Color, Women of Color, and the LGBTQ+ initiative. Breanna Schmitt and Dashanay Scott have more.
In order to create safe spaces and welcoming environments for students of color on campus, DCA is coming up with 3 new programs: Men of Color, Women of Color, and LGBTQ+ initiative.
Throughout the semester that I spent here, I was trying to figure out, okay, what are students asking for? So in some conversations, students were asking to have more of a voice on campus, to feel more valued on campus, to feel like they are a part of the campus. And so I decided, okay, let's have a men and women and LGBTQ+ programs, of color programs, to really give our students a voice, a home.
These events are created by men and women of color, specifically for men and women of color, so that they can get together in a safe space and talk about issues on campus that are unique to them.
Most of us, and I put myself in that category, are coming from an urban setting where there tends to be more diversity. So here at a predominantly white institution, we become more marginalized and tend to feel more invisible on campus. So that's why these programs are designed for these specific groups.
Even though Men and Women of Color is specifically for men and women of color, allies are still welcomed and can attend to give their support.
Basically, we're at a predominantly white institution, and we really are creating spaces for our marginalized communities, people of color, LGBTQ+. So we want the focus of these programs, like the Men of Color program, is for men of color. So women aren't necessarily openly invited. Our white students aren't necessarily openly invited. You can come if you're an ally, meaning we're not going to send you away, but as an ally, meaning you know that we are going to be talking about issues for people of color, or for men, or for women, or LGBTQ+, depending on the program. So we're going to be talking about those issues.
These meetings not only serve as support groups, they also serve as ways for students of color to voice their concerns to DCA and come up with solutions.
With our GSRC, Gender and Sexuality Resource Center, we're also starting our LGBTQ plus initiative. So we don't have a coming out support group on campus. That's going to be new this semester. We have a new trans initiative, meaning that we're going to do special programming and network and supporting our trans students on campus. And then what I'm also really excited about is we're going to have a Cutie POC. And most people don't know what Cutie POC is. Cutie POC is Queer and Trans People of Color Initiative. So each of the centers now has these new initiatives to really put our arms around these communities and help the students feel more welcomed on campus and see how we can continue to grow.
The Women of Color Town Hall meeting will take place February 22nd, and the Men of Color Town Hall meeting will be taking place February 28th. These town hall meetings will serve as kickoffs for men and women of color, and then both programs will continue to meet once a month.
Depending on if this kicks off and is going really well, next semester we can make it twice a month, but these are just the beginnings. And the same thing with the LGBTQ+ program, so we will be announcing the dates and the times, but we won't really be announcing the locations. You'll have to contact us for locations because that's also providing more of a safe space for our LGBTQ+ community.
If you would like to attend Men of Color, Women of Color, or the LGBTQ+ initiative, contact DCA to find out how. This is Breanna Schmitt and Dashanay Scott with SPTV News.
To find out more, contact Dr. Lizette Rivera in the Student Services Center.
UWSP's History Department is looking for volunteer judges for National History Days. National History Day encourages more than 500,000 students to complete historical research on a topic of their choice. Students in 6th through 12th grades enter projects such as exhibits, research papers, documentaries, performances, and websites at their local and regional levels, with top students advancing to complete nationally. We are looking for historians, educators, and undergraduates with an interest in history and to judge student projects for the 2018 contest. All volunteers will receive a t-shirt and complimentary pizza. The regional contest will take place on Thursday, March 1st from 2:00 p.m. to 5:00 p.m. at UWSP. For more information, contact Sarah Scripps at the History Department.
The UWSP's library is offering workshops that will be touching on different subjects. This semester, they will be presenting 3 labs starting this month. The first workshop is about evaluating fake news. Fake news is becoming a real problem for individuals who rely on web-delivered news, often via social media. This library lab will define fake news, provide examples, and discuss strategies and resources to help you identify news content that is out of context and/or motivated by political or social bias. This is a workshop for anyone who is on campus and is SBE credit approved. The location for the workshop will be in the Library 316 on Tuesday, February 27th from 12 to 1 p.m. For more information, inquire on the library's front desk.
That is all the news we have for you this evening.
We will be right back with sports after the break.
Serving a campus of 9,600 strong, we are the home of UWSP Television. We are SPTV. You can find us on Charter Channel 983, online, or on any of our social media sites.
Tobacco use is the largest preventable cause of death
and disease in the United States.
Cigarette smoke kills more than
480,000 Americans
each year.
41,000 of these deaths
are from exposure
to secondhand smoke.
Smoking harms nearly
every organ in the body.
Every day,
more than
3,800 kids
under the age of 18
smoke their first cigarette. More than 16 million Americans
live with a smoking-related disease.
On average,
smokers die 10 years younger
than non-smokers.
Smoking causes
cancer,
heart disease,
strokes, lung diseases,
diabetes,
and chronic bronchitis.
Quiet on set.
We'll be back in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take Ben.
Live at SPTV. Mic check. Audio check. News directors adjusting the sound. Teleprompter running smoothly. Floor director, alert. Cameras are rolling. Bring in the talent. Where's the makeup artist? Anchors ready for the news. Are you ready to join SPTV? That's a wrap. Lights out.
Welcome back, Pointers. This week in sports, the Pointers men's basketball team is now up to 16-7 overall and 10-2 in conference play after splitting games against UW-Platteville and Stout this past week. On Wednesday, they lost to Platteville 56-47. On Saturday, the Pointers got a bounce-back win, rolling over Stout 88-63. Cannon O'Haron and Nate Dodge led the Pointers with 19 and 18 points respectively. Last night, the Pointers got a huge win as they took down the 14th-ranked UW-Oshkosh. MJ Delmore led the Pointers with 23 points. The Pointers wrap up their regular season this Saturday when they go on the road to face UW-Eau Claire. The win last night also secured a first-round bye into the semifinals of the WIAC tournament. Moving on, the Pointers women's basketball team swept both their games last night, beating Platteville 85-41 and beating Stout 75-55. Carly Serrato led the Pointers offense with 18 points against Stout. Last night, the Pointers went on the road and took down 19th-ranked Oshkosh 60-52. Carly Serrato, Brooke Geyer, and Lexi Rowland all led the Pointers in scoring. They wrap up their regular season this Saturday at home as they face UW-Eau Claire, and SPTV will be broadcasting the game live starting at 3 p.m. The Pointers men's hockey team wrapped up their regular season with an 18-4-3 record and a 6-2 record in conference play. The Pointers beat UW Stout on Friday 2-1, and on Saturday they skated to a 4-4 tie against Eau Claire, scoring for the Pointers were Tanner Carty, William Lambert, and Brendan Miller, who scored twice. Their season continues next weekend in the semifinals of the WIAC Conference Tournament, where they'll face the winner of the UW River Falls and UW Superior matchup. The Pointers women's hockey team wrapped up their regular season on Tuesday with a 3-1 win over Concordia at home here in Point. Allie Bengen, Lexi Ungland, and Alex Gubbs all scored for the Pointers. Their season continues this weekend as they face the number 1 seed UW River Falls in the WIAC Conference Tournament for the O'Brien Cup. The Badgers basketball team stopped their 5-game slide last week when they beat Illinois last Thursday 78-69, with Ethan Happ leading the Badgers with 27 points. On Sunday, the Badgers couldn't overcome their slow start at home as they lost to Michigan 83-72. Happ once led the Badgers offense with 29 points. Bucky is back on the court tonight at home as they face off against the number 6 team in the country, the Purdue Boilermakers. Tonight, the Badgers will also be retiring number 44 in honor of Badger great Frank Kaminsky. And that's all the sports stories we have for you tonight. Up next is entertainment news with Dashanay Scott. I'm Rachael Ellis for SPTV Sports.
A very welcoming place. Even if you don't know what support you need, just coming down, we can look at individual schedules and talk about all the different options that are available.
I believe that the TLC can definitely help students even for the slightest little bit. The writing lab, especially because you're going to have to write papers for any of the classes, they're able to proofread those and give you feedback on those.
The writing lab has been around since 1973, and it's the second oldest writing lab in the United States, which is kind of cool.
Surprised by everything that I learned about TLC because I didn't realize there were so many resources for students.
We'd love to see more students down here. I mean, it's great that we have 35% of the student population utilizing us, but that means that we have 65% that didn't utilize us, and I know we have support services that could benefit just about everybody.
It means to me that I'm able to add another link between the TLC and the students. I know that as a big organization, it's kind of hard to get word out to the students, especially because they're not going out and meeting with the students or being part of their classes or anything like that. So having that extra link probably helps them out a lot.
And when you come down, there's free coffee, tea, and hot cocoa, so make themselves at home and learn a little bit about how they can be supported.
Welcome back, Pointers. UWSP will be hosting the premiere PBS documentary, American Creed. The film follows former Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice, Pulitzer Prize-winning historian David Kennedy, and a diverse group of Americans as they come together to explore whether a unifying set of beliefs and American creed can prove more powerful than the issues that divide us. The documentary presents stories that remind us all of the ideals that hold people together as Americans. The American Creed features UWSP communication major and former military veteran Tegan Griffith, who will lead a town hall discussion following the screening. The premiere will be held on February 14th at 5:45 p.m. in the DUC Alumni Room. The event is free and open to the public. American Creed premieres on Wisconsin Public Television and Milwaukee PBS on February 27th at 8 o'clock p.m. WISES is sponsoring a student quick pitch contest with cash prizes. Think Shark Tank but for students. Nathan, Wegner, and Claudia, Neve have more.
The 2018 Quick Pitch event is coming this Friday, February 16th. It is an event where students can create their own ideas and products and then promote them to judges for a chance to move on to state competition.
The 5 pitches are already set up. It's just us as judges then going in and hearing the pitches and then evaluating them on their ability to frame their research and their activities in a way that we can understand them, and then also kind of the overall concept of what the innovation is and also what it's going to do, what it could do for society in a way that we understand it. Well, I think the key to this is for the students to be able to not only demonstrate and show their research and their entrepreneurship, but be able to craft a message and be able to describe what they're trying to do in layman's terms so other people can understand it and appreciate it. And the purpose of the pitch then is to be able to pitch their research and their innovation to a group of people who may not understand the complexity of what they're talking about. So for students to be able to articulate what their message is and get that out to an audience that may not understand it is a critical component. And it'll help the students when they move on to be able to do the same thing postgraduate.
Lisa Theo, a promoter of Quick Pitch, explains the benefits of their connections through WISES.
WISES is a wonderful organization that helps the UW system schools, except Madison and Milwaukee, to help faculty and students patent their research and protect their intellectual property. They provide every kind of support you could need for those research activities. And it's really nice that we can extend this to the students and let the students be aware of the things, the opportunities that are out there for them in getting this kind of help. Besides going on to the state finals for the Quick Pitch, WISES also sponsors the Big Idea Tournament throughout the state.
There will be awards for those who place in the top 3. First place will receive $250, $125 for second place, and $75 for third. There will also be a People's Choice Award, so be sure to attend and vote on your favorite pitch.
Last year's competition had some students that were working on a duck decoy that would have a computer chip in it and a depth kind of finding trigger as well, and then they had a weight in it so that it could mimic what a duck would do when it would dig to look for food, and they could remote control. It was the most amazing thing, and I mean, we were in awe over the project itself, but the students did such a fabulous job of explaining what they did and the science behind it, the need for it, and then because they were pitching an actual product, the ask for what it would take to get it to market. It was really exciting. It's like watching, Shark Tank on TV. It was a lot of fun.
Students can get involved through many fields, such as the College of Symposia.
We have the College of Natural Resources and the College of Letters and Science both have their own symposia that they can present their work at. The UW System Symposium happens every single year, always in April, and we help send students to that as well. And anybody can go, they just need to contact me at the Oscar office, the Office of Student Creative Activities and Research.
This has been Claudia, Neve, and Nathan Wegner from SPTV News.
The contest begins at 9:30 a.m. on Friday, February 16th in DUC Room 374. Refreshments and networking begin at 9 o'clock a.m. All are welcome. The Department of Theater and Dance will be bringing the Tony Award-nominated play, The Metamorphosis, to life this March. With mythical characters dealing with human issues, the performance makes ancient stories relevant to the modern college-age experiences. The setting is in the ruin of ancient Greek amphitheater. Throughout different time periods where a large pool of water is the center of each character's transformation. The performances are held at 7:30 p.m. on March 2nd and 3rd, and March 8th through 10th. in the Jenkins Theater of the Noel Fine Arts Center. A 2 o'clock p.m. matinee will be held on March 4th with a 1 o'clock p.m. pre-show discussion with the director and the INFAC Room 221. Tickets are $24 for adults and seniors or $14 for 17 years old or younger. Tickets are available at the Information and Tickets office. The performance is for mature audiences. Enjoy jazz and swing tunes while learning how to swing dance at UWSP Swing Fling this month. The National Dance Education Organization will be teaching the class with performances featuring the UWSP Jazz Ensemble. The night will feature music by Benny Goodman, Ella Fitzgerald, Frank Sinatra, and more. Refreshments will be served and a cash bar will be available. The event will be held on Saturday, February 24th from 7:30 to 10:30 p.m. in the DUC Lair Room. Admission is $8 for adults or $5 with the student ID. Proceeds will benefit jazz student scholarships. That's all we have for you this week for entertainment news. Now over to Austin Lepak with Pointer Politics. I'm Dashanay Scott with SPT Entertainment News.
In politics this week, a Wisconsin legislative proposal that has been slammed by outdoor groups as the worst bill on conservation in a generation could face less opposition under an amendment proposed in the state Senate last week. The bill, introduced last year by 2 leaders of the legislature's Republican majority, would have allowed builders to develop about 100,000 acres of wetlands that are protected under current state law. The bill's sponsors said they support the amendment to exempt fewer wetlands from protection. Under the amendment, wetlands would lose legal protection if they are in or within a half mile of a populated area. The original version of the bill would have removed protections from all 1 million acres of state-regulated wetlands. An assembly committee narrowed the scope to focus mostly on populous areas most likely to be developed. The exempt zones would expand as each community expanded. SPTV News will keep you updated on this topic. On Wednesday, February 7th, UWSP Chancellor Bernie Patterson sent an email to all students and faculty regarding 3 upcoming campus forums. Each will have a different focus and all will include time for general discussion of upcoming budget and enrollment planning. The first forum will provide an updated overview of the UWSP budget, including the impact of enrollment shortfalls. The second forum will review how academic affairs is addressing these circumstances, focusing on potential reductions and investments in the academic program series. The last forum will discuss restructuring within student affairs related to enrollment decline. All forums will take place in the layout room of the Dreyfus University Center and will be live streamed for those who cannot attend. The first forum will take place on February 19th, and the rest will take place later on in the semester. That is all we have for you this week in Pointer Politics. I'm Austin Lepak, and we'll be right back after the break.
So I hear they have like a sale at the DUC or whatever. Yeah. Some like type of coffee.
Doesn't know this now.
Warzala, the 7th largest book printer in North America, is hiring students for the semester. We are 100% employee-owned and located right here in Stevens Point, Wisconsin. All shifts currently hiring, with jobs starting at $10.80 an hour. Hours are flexible. For more information, contact the Warzala HR department.
That's all the news we have for this week at SPTV.
Until next week, Stevens Point, have a great night.